Welcome into special edition from the Star in Frisco, where the first month of the NFL regular season is in the books, just like a 38-3 whooping of the Bill Belichick-led New England Patriots as the Cowboys improved to 3-1 to start the campaign. We've got three former Cowboys: Isaiah Stanback, Barry Church, Nate Newton. I'm Kyle Yeomans. Glad you're with us. Gentlemen, it was a bounce back much needed for this Cowboys team. Barry, I'll start with you. How imperative was it for the Cowboys to get back on track?
Well, in my opinion, it was huge, not only from a record standpoint, because you got to keep up with the Philadelphia Eagles and the San Francisco 49ers, but also from a confidence standpoint. You didn't want to lose two games to two teams that you should have beat, so to me, this victory was huge.
It was huge because you needed to right your wrong, and you knew who your next opponent is. You need to be able to check the box, make sure that you make the corrections, and then, again, have that momentum going into another big game.
And I'm going to say what they didn't say. We stopped the running game, and that's what we needed to do, because this team is going to run through our defense.
Ooh, yeah, 222 yards given up against the Cardinals in week 3. Week 4 against the Patriots, just 50 yards allowed on the ground. But it was also a big day for that secondary for the Dallas Cowboys. Barry, I know you loved watching DaRon Bland, a pick six, another interception. I mean, he was fantastic again.
Look, he was fantastic out there against the Patriots, and no matter where you put him, inside or outside corner, this guy is a ball hawk. The ball just seems to find DaRon Bland out there. Now, he's going to have his hands full this week because San Francisco is loaded when you talk about talent, and he's not going against a quarterback that's going to roll all the way to the right side and throw it across his chest to the left hash. I mean, that's something you learn in middle school not to do. Brock Purdy won't make those type of decisions, but either way, I believe DaRon Bland and his coaching staff will be prepared for the challenge come Sunday.
You mentioned that coaching staff, man, and I'm telling you, Al Harris has done a tremendous job with these young players. He put them in position, he give them opportunity, and he tell them, like, hey, you're going to get 1 or 2 chances a game. Make sure you take advantage of it.
Yeah, definitely take advantage of it and take advantage of the opportunities that are presented to you. Last year, when Jay Lou went down, who stepped up? DaRon Bland in the slot. All of a sudden, Trayvon Diggs goes down, who steps up? DaRon Bland. So that when the duty calls, this dude always comes through.
Yeah, 5th-round draft pick out of Fresno State, leads the NFL in interceptions since the beginning of his rookie season. He's got 8 picks already. 7 of those have come in his last 10 games. He's been fantastic on the edge and continues to get better and better. 2 pick sixes already this season as well. But you heard it a little bit from each one of these guys already. There's a matchup on hand that I know the Cowboys are looking ahead to. Christian McCaffrey and the San Francisco 49ers are on the docket in week 5. When we come back, we take a look at the key matchups for this game and how the Cowboys can have some success.
Special Edition, presented by AT&T, is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. Reliant, official energy provider of the Dallas Cowboys. Blockchain.com. Make your crypto play today. And by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. This segment is brought to you by the NFL Fan of the Year, presented by Captain Morgan.
I mean, it's obviously it's an important game. You know, you understand the history, and there's obviously a lot of tradition with this game. So I mean, it's all part of it. You live to play in these kind of games. You dream about these kind of games. So you don't want to make it bigger than it is. But you know, it's just not. It's just, you know, the reality is it's not just another game.
Mike McCarthy, presented by Texas Lotto, saying it's not just another game. It's the 40th all-time meeting between the Cowboys and the 49ers, split all the way down the middle. 19 wins, and 1 tie between these two franchises, and all the storied history in this matchup. 6 conference championship games, 15 combined conference titles, and you've got the 10 Super Bowls between the two franchises. Lots on the line, but also just 1 combined loss this season. All right, Isaiah, we'll start with you. This is Cowboys team that's going to have to face some of these weapons, the key matchups with the 49ers. Let's start with Brock Purdy. What does he do well for the 49ers?
He's a bus driver. You know what I'm saying? Everybody needs a good bus driver. I think that he is the early Russell Wilson. You think about what Russell Wilson was early in his career, not necessarily latter, but what he did early in his career in terms of just guiding the Seattle Seahawks to some victories. That's exactly what Brock Purdy's doing. They're giving him short, high-precision passes, and they're surrounding him with a very effective running game. All they're asking him to do is not turn the ball over.
Yeah, Brock Purdy's a real deal. I mean, I had my questions last year and then going into this year, you know, is he like that? Can he really make this offense productive? And he can do that. I mean, when you look at the All-22 film, no matter matter what coverage is presented to him, he's always making the right throw, all right? He never puts the ball in harm's way, no interceptions, no fumbles lost. If I'm the defensive coordinator for this Dallas Cowboys team, I make sure I heat this guy up because he's proven that if he's comfortable in his pocket, he has the ability to slice your secondary apart.
If he's a bus driver, he's a long-distance bus driver, for 1,000 yards, what, at 72% completion rate, no interceptions, like you said, Barry. And check this out, 5 TDs, and this boy Brandon Ayuk averaging 18.5, 18.8 yards. Come on, man, this dude's driving the bus for real.
No doubt, and if he's driving the bus, he's got some help as well. Let's start with Christian McCaffrey and the weapons on that offense. I mean, Nate, when you look at Christian McCaffrey, who does he remind you of?
He's all everything, man. He's a little bit better than I think Emmett was for his athlete-wise. I mean, he is sweet. He can run the ball out of the backfield. He can run between the tackles, outside the tackles. And, man, he can catch the ball coming out of the backfield. We got to be with him on screens.
Yeah, this offense starts and stops with Christian McCaffrey back there. You got to know where this guy is at all times. And Dan Quinn's got to find a way to slow this man down, which is easier said than done. Because like you said, Nate, he can kill you with the pass or he can hurt you with the running game. So the bad scientist, Dan Quinn, he's got to cook something up to at least try to contain number 23 back there, because if he's rolling, that means that play action is starting to roll, and I don't think the Cowboys want any problems with that.
I think McCaffrey is a more elusive LaShawn McCoy. You think about how he used to play in terms of his ability to run in between the tackles, be able to break the big play on the outside, and then how you can split him out, detach him from the formation, and now all of a sudden he's a dynamic receiver. He is that guy. He's a matchup nightmare. You have to hit him in his chest and remind him that, hey, we need you on the ground, player. We don't want you running around with the ball in your hand.
Shady McCoy wishes he was Christian McCaffrey. I just want to throw that in there, too. All right, Barry, let's take a look at some of the weapons on the outside. Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle. Which one scares you the most on the edge?
To me, it's like picking a poison with these guys, because all three of these guys are threats to the Dallas Cowboys defense. But when you talk about who's next on the most wanted list, I got to go with Brandon Ayuk on this one. This guy is a pure route runner. And when you talk about exceptional yak yardage or yards after the catch, this guy is it. So if I'm a safety in this Dan Quinn defense, I know where number 23 is at all times, but I got to keep an eye on 11 because he can hit you with that big splash, that big chunk play that the Cowboys don't want to see.
And we'll talk more about these weapons coming up in a couple moments as we hit the film room. But Isaiah, whenever you look at this defense, what kind of challenges are they going to pose to Dak Prescott back behind center?
You could look at their interior defensive linemen. You got Big Armstead and you have Hargrave. I mean, both of those guys are absolute dogs. That's where it begins. Now, obviously, you have Bosa that comes off the edge, but you can keep him in a wide nine technique. You better change up what you're doing because he is about as cerebral as a player as you're going to face at the defensive end position. And then in their secondary, they really have some really aggressive defensive backs. They want to play man-to-man coverage. They want to hold you. Grab them and hold them. Grab them and hold them.
I tell you what, Hargraves, we thought we had got rid of you, man. You just following this Cowboys. You love us. Come play for us, not against us, brother. Hargrave is the man. Hargrave,
yeah.
Hargrave, you was right.
Yeah, you got it right the first
Put you in the grave here.
Nate Newton making a ploy out there for the former Philadelphia Eagle, now, of course, on the San Francisco 49ers. When we come back, though, we talk about this matchup with the Cowboys front office in the building as well. Nick Eatman will sit down with Cowboys COO Stephen Jones right after this.
This segment was brought to you by the NFL Fan of the Year, presented by Captain Morgan. This segment is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas.
Welcome back into Special Edition. Of course, the Cowboys and 49ers facing off this Sunday. Kickoff's at 7:20, but even before kickoff, you can go join all of Cowboys Nation at the Miller Lite House at AT&T Stadium. Gates open at 6. Free tickets, free parking. There's plenty to do. Rowdy will be there, the Dallas Cowboys cheerleader. I heard they're even going to play Cowboys pregame live on the television sets out there. You can get all your information at dallascowboys.com/watch party. So plenty to go going into this matchup, plenty to know going into this matchup on Special Edition. Nick Eatman sits down with Cowboys COO Stephen Jones to talk through not only what the Cowboys did this past week, but what they anticipate going into Week 5.
Hello, Cowboys Nation. I'm Nick Eatman along with Stephen Jones, Cowboys Chief Operating Officer, and here in his lovely office here at the Star, get a chance to overlook the practice field. The Cowboys getting ready for the 49ers. I know they only play 17 games, so they're all big. You're going to tell me they're all big games? but this one's got to be a little bit bigger, right?
No, obviously this is a big one. I mean, the 49ers are, probably played their way into them in Philadelphia, the favorites because they're 4-0 and well-deserved. I mean, they were great football teams, and they played in the conference championship last year, and, San Francisco lost their quarterback, or, who knows what would have happened had they been able to go to war with their starting quarterback. But, we got our hands full. This is the game we're focused on, the 49er game. It's rightfully getting a lot of attention, and we really feel like we've got a good football team as well, and felt like we've, played well last year but didn't play well enough. And I know those guys wearing that uniform certainly are looking forward to this matchup. I know our coaching staff is. I know the organization is. Certainly I know they'll be prepared and ready. Coach Shanahan's one of the best in the business at getting his team ready to play big football games. So it'll certainly be a big battle out there in the Bay, and we look forward to it.
Do you think that anything that happened in that last game of the season against the Niners, did you go into the offseason going, all right, we got to make sure we got to be better at this or this? Or is it more than just one game, or can you look at something from that game and go, we got to be better here?
I think it's just execution. I mean, everybody said it. I mean, anytime you lose a turnover battle in a big game, your back's against the wall. And, we had a couple of turnovers there that, ended up hurting us. But, at the end of the day, it's just about execution. We really felt like as a team we needed to improve our run defense in terms of if you look at the defensive side of the ball, and we address that with Mozzie Smith and certainly getting Hankins back, and feel like we're playing at a high level. We had the one game where we gave up more yards than we'd normally want to, but I think overall we've done a good job of really making this team, I think, a better football team. You talk about the Gilmore edition and the Cooks edition, what we're doing offensively. I think we're doing a great job, as Mike said, executing between the 20s. We do need to get the ball in the end zone and score touchdowns, especially when you play big games like we're getting ready to play against the 49ers. You need to get that ball and convert those red zone opportunities into touchdowns. I know our players know that. I know our coaching staff knows that, and feel like everybody's focused on that this week, and we'll be prepared.
What do you think is going to be the number one thing against the 49ers that they're going to have to focus on? I know Christian McCaffrey is outstanding. They have Debo. They got a lot of weapons. What do you think would be the number one priority for that defense this week?
Well, I just think, it always starts with, stop the run. If we can get them in a, second long, third and long situations, then we thrive in those type of situations. But as you said, they got one of the best backs, if not the best back in the NFL in McCaffrey. They got a really gamer quarterback and Brock Purdy, who's doing a great job for them. As you mentioned, they got Samuel and Ayuk. I mean, this is a really good roster top to bottom. That's why they're 4-0, and that's why they're one of the favorites to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. But we feel good about our football team as well, and we're looking forward to this challenge.
It will be a challenge for the Cowboys against the 49ers. San Francisco has won the two most recent meetings. However, Dallas has won the three previous meetings in the regular season. So lots on the line between their rival this week, and San Francisco will bring the weapons, including Debo Samuel. When we come back here on Special Edition, Isaiah Stanback breaks down the film, says how the Cowboys can stop Debo and how they can maybe try and limit these other weapons from the 49ers.
This segment was brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas.
Back here in Special Edition, and in a week like this where there's so much intensity, there's so much anticipation, there's got to be a lot of film as well. And Isaiah Stanback's been breaking it down for us all year long on Special Edition. Now he takes a look at this San Francisco 49ers offense and exactly what they bring to the table. Number 2 scoring offense in the country right now, and they present so many different ways to score. How are they going to try and utilize those weapons against Dallas?
Well, we're going to try to blow through it real quick, but they have a lot of different weapons, and they have a lot of different ways in which they get to their weapons. We're not even going to address the running game. We know how dominant they are in the running scheme. McCaffrey, McCaffrey, Debo, whoever they choose to put back there. But we are going to go and see exactly how they're utilizing Mr. Brock Purdy and all the weapons he has out the outside at the receiver position and tight end position. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight a couple people for you, okay? Right off the back, okay? You have McCaffrey in the backfield, okay? You have good old Debo Samuel right here. You have Brandon Ayuk in the slot, okay? And where's Mr. Kittle? Well, Mr. Kittle's going to be hanging out over here on the left side, okay?
That's a lot of weapons.
That's a lot of weapons right there, Kyle. But now you know where everybody's at, okay? Now what I want you guys to pay attention to is exactly the running scheme, okay? You have to respect the run. These guys do a great job of running, so what do you have to do at the second level? Well, you have to step forward whenever these guys have play action, okay? Or whenever they have the actual action to fake the run. All right, so let's go ahead and play it through. Boom. So as you see the ball is snapped, okay, boom, Juszczyk goes across the formation. Right there, pause it. Okay, so as soon as you see right off the back, the linebackers have to step forward. Once these linebackers step forward, where is the vacancy in the defense? Well, there's going to be a ginormous hole right behind the second level defenders in which they're going to utilize who? Brandon Ayuk coming here on the inside, okay, on the in route. All right, as you guys see, that's where Brock Purdy delivers the ball. But if you pause it right there, as soon as Brandon Ayuk is getting the ball right in the middle here, okay, well, there's one person by the name of who? Debo Samuel that you just happen to forget about, who is sitting here all by his lonesome. They did not go to him, but again, that's just another option that they have. They hit Ayuk because of the play action, but because of the play action also, you forget about the guy down here named Debo Samuels. That's just one play. As we transition to the next, okay, let's go ahead and look at it from this perspective. How do they get their big boy tight end, Mr. George Kittle, free? Well, first of all, they're going to come out. As soon as you see a single high safety, as soon as Brock Purdy sees that, all of a sudden you have a matchup nightmare simply because of the fact the only man that can play defense on Kittle is going to be from this second level defender. And when you have that second level defender playing that far off, well, all they're going to do is run a nice little out route and a clear out route here, and he's going to have all the space in the world to win on the outside versus your safety or linebacker. Let's see it play out. We just talked about it, single high safety, pause it right here. That guy has to go that way, okay? Where are the shoulders of this defensive back? His back is getting turned because of the fact that this receiver is now going upfield. And again, you're having an opportunity with George Kittle to work it on the outside. Quick, high precision pass by Purdy, drops it off, out route. Now George Kittle does what George Kittle does, makes a man miss, works up the field, makes a big play off of a 5-yard catch.
Now, that's a lot of words and a lot of pass catchers that can certainly catch the rock, but that's not it, though, right?
Nope.
I mean, they've got Christian McCaffrey coming out of the backfield, and he can do so many different things other than just run through the tackles.
Why would you have to bring that up, Kyle?
I just had to.
I know. But here, let's go ahead and highlight everybody again one more time, okay? There goes Brandon Ayuk, okay? Here goes Mr. George Kittle right here. Where's Debo Samuel? Well, Debo Samuel's all the way out here, and then you have Mr. Christian McCaffrey in the backfield. Perfect, okay? Well, how can they free up Mr. McCaffrey? A lot of the times you're going to have a linebacker that's responsible for him, okay? So let's go ahead and assume that this is the man that's responsible for McCaffrey. All right, so what do you do with Brandon Ayuk versus a single high safety to ensure that your running back has a one-on-one matchup? Well, we're going to clear him out just like you did before. So you clear him out, and now all of a sudden you have an ISO against his linebacker, and he's going to break it out one-on-one. Go ahead and play it through. Okay, we see it. The linebacker does what? Linebacker bumps out. He is now responsible for McCaffrey. McCaffrey pause it. McCaffrey honestly has a two-way go. He can go that way on the slant, or he can break it out, leaving this man in no man's land all day long. They'll take the easy 5-yard out all day long with McCaffrey. Again, you either have to come up and press in the box, and then you leave a void behind the second level defender, or you play off and McCaffrey eats on you that way. They have a lot of different weapons, a lot of different ways to get to their guys. You're going to have to find a way to take somebody out the game, Kyle, to negate their ability to be able to win. If it was me, I think I'd take out McCaffrey and make everybody else play man-to-man.
He did have 4 of their touchdowns against the Cardinals last week, 3 on the ground, 1 through the air, and he was dynamic in both ways. That's the part of this offense that's so scary is they're so versatile, they're all dynamic, and they're all uber athletic. They bring so much to the table. They're going to try and challenge that Dallas defense this week. He's Isaiah. Stand back. When we come back here on Special Edition, keys to the game. How can the Cowboys get revenge on San Francisco? We line it up with our panel next.
Special Edition, presented by AT&T, was brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. And by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys.
The Cowboys and the 49ers, 7:20 kickoff on Sunday Night Football on NBC. Back here as we wrap up Special Edition. Barry Church, give me your keys to a Cowboys win.
Oh, well, to me, it's the defense. They got to make Purdy uncomfortable out there. If he has a clean pocket, he has the ability to slice you up. You got to make that man uncomfortable.
Got to win your one-on-one matchups on the outside. These guys are going to be playing press man all day. Dak, take your shots.
Stop McCaffrey, stop Debo, and I'm talking about in the run game because that's what's going to count in this game.
And what do you think the prediction is going to be?
This is going to be a bloody by one. This is going to be a bloody, ugly by one.
Cowboys by one. Nate Newton, you heard it here first on Special Edition. For Nate Newton, Barry Church, Isaiah Stanback, I'm Kyle Yeomans. Enjoy the game, everybody. Cowboys, 49ers.